Please like the video and share it so that it reaches many more people and you get sawaba, or rewards from Allah. This could be a sawabe jariyah or continuous reward for you long after you are gone.
Volume 3, Book 31, number 196. Narrated by Abdullah bin Amr bin al-As. Allah's apostle said to me, "O Abdullah, have I not been informed that you fast during the day and offer prayers all the night?" Abdullah replied, "Yes, O Allah's apostle." The Prophet said, "Don't do that. Fast for few days and then give it up for few days, offer prayers and also sleep at night. As your body has a right on you, and your wife has a right on you, and your guest has a right on you. And it is sufficient for you to fast 3 days in a month, as the reward of a good deed is multiplied 10 times, so it will be like fasting throughout the year." I insisted on fasting, and so I was given a hard instruction. I said, "O Allah's apostle, I have power." The Prophet said, "Fast like the fasting of the Prophet David and do not fast more than that." I said, "How was the fasting of the Prophet of Allah, David?" He said, "Half of the year, i.e. he used to fast on every alternate day. Afterwards, when Abdullah became old, he used to say, 'It would have been better for me if I had accepted the permission of the Prophet, which he gave me, i.e. to fast only 3 days a month." Volume 3, Book 31, number 197. Narrated by Abdullah bin Amr. Allah's apostle was informed that I had taken an oath to fast daily and to pray every night, all the night throughout my life. So Allah's apostle came to me and asked whether it was correct. I replied, "Let my parents be sacrificed for you." I said so. The Prophet said, "You cannot do that. So, fast for few days and give it up for few days, pray and sleep. Fast 3 days a month, as the reward of good deeds is multiplied 10 times, and that will be equal to 1 year of fasting." I replied, "I can do better than that." The Prophet said to me, "Fast 1 day and give up fasting for a day, and that is the fasting of Prophet David, and that is the best fasting." I said, "I have the power to fast better, more, than that." The Prophet said, "There is no better fasting than that." Volume 3, Book 31, number 198. Narrated by Abdullah bin Amr. The news of my daily fasting and praying every night throughout the night reached the Prophet. So he sent for me, or I met him. And he said, "I have been informed that you fast every day and pray every night, all the night. Fast, for some days, and give up fasting, for some days, pray and sleep. For your eyes have a right on you, and your body and your family, i.e. wife, have a right on you." I replied, "I have more power than that, fasting." The Prophet said, "Then fast like the fasts of the Prophet David." I said, "How?" He replied, "He used to fast on alternate days, and he used not to flee on meeting the enemy." I said, "From where can I get that chance?" Atta said, "I do not know how the expression of fasting daily throughout the life occurred." So, the Prophet said, "Twice, whoever fasts daily throughout his life is just as the one who does not fast at all." Volume 3, Book 31, number 199. Narrated by Mujahid from Abdullah bin Amr. The Prophet said to Abdullah, "Fast 3 days a month." Abdullah said to the Prophet, "I am able to fast more than that." They kept on arguing on this matter till the Prophet said, "Fast on alternate days, and recite the whole Quran once a month." Abdullah said, "I can recite more, in a month." And the argument went on till the Prophet said, "Recite the Quran once each 3 days, i.e. you must not recite the whole Quran in less than 3 days. Volume 3, Book 31, number 200. Narrated by Abdullah bin Amr bin al-As. The Prophet said to me, "You fast daily all the year and pray every night all the night." I replied in the affirmative. The Prophet said, If you keep on doing this, your eyes will become weak and your body will get tired. He who fasts all the year is as he who did not fast at all. The fasting of 3 days, a month, will be equal to the tasting of the whole year. I replied, I have the power for more than this. The Prophet said, then fast like the fasting of David, who used to fast on alternate days and would never flee from the battlefield, on meeting the enemy. Volume 3, Book 31, number 201. Narrated by Abdullah bin Amr. Allah's apostle was informed about my fasts, and he came to me and I spread for him a leather cushion stuffed with palm fires, but he sat on the ground and the cushion remained between me and him. And then he said, isn't it sufficient for you to fast 3 days a month? I replied, O Allah's apostle, I can fast more. He said, 5. I replied, O Allah's apostle, I can fast more. He said, 7. I replied, O Allah's apostle, I can fast more. He said, 9 days per month. I replied, O Allah's apostle, I can fast more. He said, 11 days per month. And then the Prophet said, there is no fast superior to that of the Prophet David. It was for half of the year. So, fast on alternate days. Volume 3, Book 31, number 202. Narrated by Abu Hurairah. My friend, the Prophet, advised me to observe 3 things. 1. To fast 3 days a month. 2. To pray 2 rakat of duha prayer, forenoon prayer, and 3. To pray witr before sleeping. Volume 3, Book 31, number 203. Narrated by Anas. The Prophet paid a visit to Sulaym and she placed before him dates and ghee. The Prophet said, replace the ghee and dates in their respective containers, for I am fasting. Then he stood somewhere in her house and offered an optional prayer, and then he invoked good on Sulaym and her family. Then Sulaym said, O Allah's apostle, I have a special request today. He said, what is it? She replied, please invoke for your servant Anas. So Allah's apostle did not leave anything good in the world or the hereafter which he did not invoke Allah to bestow on me, and said, O Allah, give him, i.e. Anas, property and children, and bless him. Thus I am one of the richest among the Ansar, and my daughter Amina told me that when a Hajjaj came to Basra, more than 120 of my offspring had been buried. Volume 3, Book 31, number 204. Narrated by Mutarrif from Imran ibn Hussein. That the Prophet asked him, Imran, or asked a man, and Imran was listening, O Abu so-and-so, have you fasted the last days of this month? The narrator thought that he said, the month of Ramadan. The man replied, no, O Allah's apostle. The Prophet said to him, when you finish your fasting of Ramadan, fast 2 days in Shawwal. Through another series of narrators, Imran said, the Prophet said, have you fasted the last days of Shaban? Volume 3, Book 31, number 205. Narrated by Muhammad bin Abbas. I asked Jabir, did the Prophet forbid fasting on Fridays? He replied, yes. Other narrators added, if he intends to fast only that day.